Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Scottish Football Matters with me, Murray, and my good friend Lorenzo. Tonight's topics we're going to do is we're going to have a wee review of the weekend League Cup action, have a wee chat about the cup draw, and we'll have a wee touch on the one SPFL game which was Dundee and Livy. Then we'll have a wee chat about whether or not Russell Martin saved his job and also touch on Aberdeen's situation with Jimmy Keelan. Then we'll do some predictions for the two Europa League games this week and the two SPFL games as well, because there's a couple from earlier League Cup matches. But how's things, mate? You all good?
Aye, it's been all good. It was. I quite enjoyed the game yesterday. I went to watch it in a public house, and I quite enjoyed it. So yeah, it was good.
Oh, I actually watch Rangers win a football match. Oh, I've got to be happy at that. I think we'll start on the first, just the one and only SPFL game. Dundee 3-2 winners against Livy. I think the main talking point in that one was the late penalty, which I
Hmm.
thought was soft but fair, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those ones that if it's for your team, it's the stone waller. If it's against your team, you feel hard done by. I think
Aye.
I'm kind of on the fence with it. I think it's just a penalty, but it's the tricky. It's a hard way to lose. I cannot. If I was a Livy fan, I'd feel aggrieved. But if I was a Dundee fan, I'd go great.
Oh, you'd be happy with
But
it, definitely.
But it actually puts Rangers to 11th from the table, if anyone's looked at the table. But
Yeah.
we'll see how. I mean, yeah, we'll see how that pans out over the whole season. But on to the cup games. The first one we'll start with the Friday night game. Kilmarnock 2, St Mirren 2, and St Mirren winning on penalties. What do you think of that one? I thought even game. Two, I think they're quite evenly matched teams, if I'm honest.
Hmm.
If I was to, I'd say St Mirren are slightly the better football side. I think they're slightly, but that might just be because Kettlewell's a new manager with Kelly.
Taking time to
Whereas,
bed in, obviously,
whereas the others
Kettlewell,
have
but
had that team for a while. But St Mirren, they did well. They got. I mean, I think as you found out the week before, it's not easy to play on that pitch, and
no,
I think St Mirren will be buzzing for a trip to Hampden. And
I
when we
hate
touch
plastic
on it in
pitches.
a second, they're going to be playing Motherwell. We'll touch on that in a second, but that's a great opportunity for St Mirren or Motherwell to get to a final.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
not just get to a final, but potentially win a final.
I would have, I would
But
have preferred, I would have preferred one of them rather than Rangers in the semi, but I'd have preferred that. But hey
yeah, I
ho,
mean,
it is what it is.
yeah, I think if we move on to Aberdeen, we'll just touch on the Aberdeen Motherwell game, just in terms of the game. We'll talk about Jimmy Keelan after, but I thought it was a great goal. It was probably my runner-up for goal of the weekend. I think
Yeah.
Konecki just edged it because it was more. I think the finish by Reagan Charleston was better than Konecki's,
Hmm.
but
I thought.
the team move is better.
Hmm.
If you know what I mean. I
Aye,
think
I
that
thought Tenecti's
that
goal.
edged it. Aye,
Tenecti's
but
Tenecti's goal was good, and the
yeah,
touch for Ian Acho was
yeah, but I
superb.
think
And
in terms of a finish, I don't think there was a better finish than
no,
Reagan Charleston. He just
no,
picked his spot and it seemed like from what I seen highlight wise, although I think Aberdeen did hit the frame, Motherwell did a few times, and it seemed more like Motherwell were going to get a second and Aberdeen were going to ever get back into it. And I think again, like I just touched with St Mirren, great opportunity for Motherwell now
mm,
to go to a cup semi final potentially, and it's a very evenly. I mean, I don't want to really review it and predict it, but when you look at it, it's chalk and cheese in it. Motherwell are a really good football team,
yeah,
but maybe don't quite have enough at the top end. St Mirren are maybe less pretty on the eye, but
of
effective.
course.
And
But
I
like I
think
say, Motherwell though, Motherwell have been playing really well
uh,
so far this season, and they've deserved a win at some point, so they've got their win now, obviously in the cup.
yeah, I
So
mean they did beat St Johnson 1-0 in the last round as well, but I think they really need to take this into the league at the
mhm,
weekend and try and pick up, 3 points that they probably have deserved a few times.
yeah,
But if we stick with Saturday, Rangers Hibs. I think all I would say about the game was I don't think it was a classic. I think Rangers looked quite nervous. Uh,
What I will say though, Murray, is that the Hibs goal. I mean, you see the Shankland one for Hearts against Rangers. It's a similar type of goal, and
Probably yes. There's a
I don't know
handball.
why the goal. I
Rangers
don't know why
can't-
the hand. I don't know why the goal didn't count because if it counts for Hearts, why is it not counting for Hibs?
I think it's fair to say that they got it wrong, perhaps.
Well,
So I
they
do,
obviously did, but you can't just chop and change when you feel like it and fancy it. I mean,
but
if you need to be
I think
consistent,
I think yeah, that's the problem, is it? The consistency there should be that it's neither are goals. I mean, I don't think anyone can really argue that.
no,
Although it's an accident, he's not meant it. He's not put his arm out
no,
and touched
he's not deliberately
it.
handballed it.
It doesn't
It's a
matter
goal.
anymore. It's
It's
now
a goal
all
for
that
me, but
matters is if it hits the hand and that player goes on to score, it shouldn't count. And to be fair, though, I think apart from that, I didn't think Hibs done much, if I'm honest. And I think David Gray said similar in his press conference. He didn't do enough to win the game. Obviously, you knew when Nico Raskin scored, you just knew he was going to score just to sort of
well, you knew it. You knew it. You could feel it.
get up your Russell.
Mhm.
But
Means now that he can't leave him. He's got to play him all the time now.
it should be fine anyway. But I thought one thing I would say though is that when Rangers did score, it was interesting to see that they did quickly get a second. Although there was a great deal of fortune about how that came to Miovski, it does show that if you start playing in and around the box, you know, it's
Mm.
amazing stuff in it. Play in and around the box, and your striker will score.
I'm just
But
wondering. I'm just wondering, with all the people are protesting and wanting Ruddy Martin, you're just wondering, would they have wanted Rangers to get beat at the weekend to speed up the process of getting rid of him?
I can't imagine any real true Rangers fan would ever want us to lose.
You see where I'm coming from,
But
though, don't you?
I do. But I just think the way it is right now is game by game, game by game. Let's be honest, we all know that the next time Rangers stumble, the pressure's just going to go through the roof again. But I think in terms of the match, I think Rangers actually looked pretty decent in the second half when they were 2-0 up. So
Yeah.
it just shows how important that first goal is, especially when Rangers players. I mean, forget about the manager and all that stuff. The players are low on confidence, and I think it shows you that if you can get that first goal, they can play some decent enough stuff, and they probably should have won the game by more based on the second half. But at the end of the day, they got through, and then so some point,
Miovski's got his first goal as well.
yeah, he needed it, but Mills got his first chance. I mean, not only his first, it wasn't. They
Aye,
didn't want to create that for him.
that's his
But
first chance, yeah.
so on to Celtic, I felt it was actually quite a decent start by both sides. I thought for the first 15 minutes, I thought it was quite end to end. Then as soon as Celtic scored, though, you could see a bit like Rangers when they got their first, they got a second so quickly, and it took the stuffing out of the opposition. And the
Yeah.
thing that Celtic did that Rangers didn't do, I suppose, was that in the second half they got that third and fourth and
We
sort
got the early goal
of.
in the second half right at the start of it, and that kind of killed the game at 3-0. That was it.
But I don't think you could really argue. Maybe the Kelly St Mirren game, but I don't think you could really argue with the winners in the games. Do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone robbed it. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like one
No,
of those games. So, and I think it sets up two interesting semi-finals with St Mirren and Motherwell. Again, like we said before, it's like the different styles. And Rangers Celtic, I think there's a lot of Rangers fans who are like, oh, I'd rather get somebody else. But seeing my, if you're going to win a cup, you probably need to beat Celtic anyway.
that's right. But we
And
also
if
need
I'm
to beat
totally,
yous because we've not beaten
uh,
yous over 90 minutes for about a year now. So
what I'm thinking is we, I think, would have enough pressure in any final. So whether that's against Motherwell, St Mirren, or Celtic,
Mhm.
it's nice to get Celtic in a semi-final because I actually think the players might play without that pressure that they would have. Because let's be honest, if you look at the last two finals that we've played, although you would argue, we've been a wee bit unlucky in the Scottish Cup final 2 years ago, and then
cup final
the League
last year.
Cup final last year was penalties. So it was, I wouldn't say we were unlucky that day. I mean, the obviously the Kearney penalty, all that nonsense, but there was a lot of things that didn't really go away. I felt we were unlucky in the 1-0 game with the Ida one, just because I don't think I spoke to any Celtic fan that didn't think Rangers were the better side. Whereas the three each game was
Well,
actually
you've got
quite
your goal in the cup final, and obviously it was a foul on Joe Hart, though. I have to say, I thought that was a foul.
one of those ones that keepers get too much protection. But
They do, but you
if there's
expect
any
them.
arm on them, they go down now. I mean, I don't want to see ones like that as fouls, but consistency would suggest that you get them. But no, I think what I would say though is that when Rangers have played Celtic in semi-finals, I think like there was a one in the Ange year where I think Rangers scored one in extra time. They played without pressure that day, and I just wonder if in a semi-final if
That was
that
the
would
one.
maybe
Can I think Greg Taylor scored? Is
Taylor
that right?
scored a deflection and then
Huh?
Arfield scored an absolute peach, and then I'm pretty sure it was an own goal by Starfelt in extra time. I think Sakala tried to claim it, but he didn't get anywhere near it. I mean, it was such a bad finish that he couldn't actually make any contact with the ball that meant it hit off Starfelt. But no, I think it'll be two interesting games, and we'll kind of move on because we will do a full prediction of that um, around Halloween time because I think it's
Yeah.
the Saturday's likely to be the Motherwell St Mum, and so it'll always be Sunday, Rangers Celtic and Hampden Gate.
It's always the case, isn't it?
So, but the good thing about that is it isn't after the Europa League night. I noticed, which is nice to
Was it
know.
not? Oh,
But
that's but the final will.
we
The
do have
final will.
midweek games. We do have
Oh,
midweek games, but I think
right.
we're at Easter Road on the
And
29th, the Wednesday, and
we're at home.
can't
I
remember
think
who, right? But I want to say Falkirk. No, not Falkirk.
you
It's
might be
somebody.
right. Actually, I'm
I
pretty
want
sure
to
it's
say
Falkirk.
Falkirk at home. I remember looking at it and going, yeah, that's. I mean, Rangers will always have the tougher game. You would imagine, obviously, away at Hibs, but at the same time, sometimes you'd rather have a really competitive game in the build-up. I think the only thing that I think gives you a disadvantage is when, like, see when there's European ties and one team's travelling. I always think it's unfair. So it's nice that
Mhm.
they've scheduled this. Although
Aye,
on the back of league games, there's no great deal of travel to Edinburgh. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's all I'm saying.
Even Falkirk's not at far. Well, we're at
Well,
home,
he's
aren't
at
we?
home,
So
aye.
aye,
But
aye.
that's what I'm saying. It's good that there's no European tie because that would have caused things. But if we move on to really the Russell Martin, to me it's just a stay of execution. I think it's the fairest way to say it. But
The
like
fans still
anything,
want rid of him. The fans still want rid
they
of him.
do. But I'll take you back to. It's gonna really take my mind back. But I remember Alex McLeish in his third season with Rangers, right? Because the first season he came in, it was halfway through. We were like 17 points behind. They won a cup double, and then the next season they won a treble. But if you remember rightly, after that, um, Rangers sold all their best players like Ferguson and a lot of players left, and we're replacing them with like no disrespect, but duffers like Nuno Capuccio who was past it, and Emerson, and just it wasn't Eggy Austin's dad. It was a really poor team, and we went 10 games without a win during that
Mhm.
season, right? And
Right.
everyone wanted them out, and the Rangers board at the time stuck with him through to the next season, and that was the season. I don't want to bring up a bad name, but that the season he ended up with the helicopter Sunday. But
Aye.
he'd ended up in that summer getting players like Purzo and Novo and um, just a better quality of player. And what I would say though is that's the only time I've ever seen anyone come back from the absolute dead
Oh. Do
of
you
the
think that
fans.
Russell Martin? Do you think Russell Martin can come back?
I think he can, but I don't think he will. If that
Right.
makes sense. I think
Hmm.
let's be honest, right? See if Rangers win their next 10 games, all of it goes away. I mean, Rangers protests, the fans protest. It's all about the on the pitch stuff. See if you win on the pitch, it goes away. Celtic
Aye.
stuff is all about off the pitch stuff. What happens on the pitch doesn't really affect their protests. It's a
I know.
different thing. We're protesting because we feel that there's a few people within the club that aren't at the level they should be. That's
Hmm.
fair enough. You're allowed to protest. On protest, by the way, I am absolutely fine with banners and going outside the ground and all that. But can we stop throwing shite on pitches and delaying
Aye, I
games?
know. I
Like
know.
Celtic done it last
I
year
think
with cricket balls.
Celtic done it. Celtic done it yesterday as well.
I with bits of paper. Rangers done it with what looked like golf balls. It was a combination of different things, I think. But they were all balls.
It disrupts the game. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? The Rangers actually were playing all right for that couple of minutes before, and I actually thought we were getting a wee foothold in the game. And see after that, Hibs go through on goal, get a chance. Then the Boyle disallowed goal. That all comes 5 minutes after the starting of the game.
Yeah.
And I just think that something can harm a team. And I just think I'm all for protest, but I don't want them involved interrupting the game.
Aye. I mean, Celtic
So
done it yesterday. Celtic done it yesterday before kick-off. They threw stuff onto the pitch, but that was about
yeah,
it.
But I remember one last year, was it, did you know, throw a lot of tennis balls?
Aye, I think. What was
What
that
if it was
for
at
again?
St
Then?
John's or something?
Aye.
Something. But what I'm saying is that I'm all for, the protest idea, but I just don't think it should be done. I think if you want to protest, do it when the teams are coming out before kick off.
Hmm. Aye, it's
Maybe
going to hinder. It's going to hinder the team if you do it during the game, obviously.
yeah,
Especially if that team's got a bit of momentum in the game, and then that could derail it a bit.
yeah. But
Yep.
on to managers who are under pressure. Jimmy Keelan.
Well, he's out the cup
He's
now,
got
so
it. Aye, I mean, they've got a league game at tomorrow
oh, if they win it, they can go above Rangers.
against Dundee
So,
United.
so
It's a tricky one on it. I mean, I like Jimmy Keelan.
I'm getting for as well. That's a new firm, Derby, isn't it? That's what they call it, the new firm.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a tough job in it because you've seen when he started at Aberdeen, such a great start,
Oh, he
then
did. He
such a
done really well.
then such a terrible middle, and then the end of the season was kind of up and down. But then they got the cup, and you
Mhm.
thought, can they use that to kick on? But
That was a terrible cup final. I think if Celtic were up for that and Celtic would have played to their ability, they
be
should have beat
honest though,
Aberdeen that day. And see if they'd have beat Aberdeen that day, I don't think Jimmy Tilleen would have been in a job then. He'd have been gone.
be for honest though, not many cup finals are good though. Like,
No, they're no. They're
even that
no.
the one that used one the year before against us, where you could argue use Rob does Aberdeen Rob Jews.
Even
They
the
were
three
both,
each game, it went
both
to penalties.
that,
That
that
wasn't
was
a
that
great
was a
final
great
either.
game. No, that was a great game because
You
that
think
was. I
so?
mean, oh aye, that was
No
the
for the
only cup final.
no for the
That was
ticker. It's no.
no, it wasn't good for the heart, but in terms of football, it was end to end at times. But just a lot of finals, I just feel. I remember Rangers winning under Van Bronckhorst, and it went all the way to extra time. And I know it was on the back of the Europa League final, and you could tell they were a bit leggy. But it was a horrible 90 minutes. Nothing happened. I mean, it was like they were playing for extra time after about 20 minutes. It was it was a weird game, but I
Blown
don't.
out
I
the
just don't think you
backsides.
get. I don't think you get great cup finals.
No, very rarely you get the odd one, but
But shall we look ahead to obviously the midweek games? So we've got two SPL games, then two Europa games. So
yeah,
we'll start with the SPL. How do you see Falkirk Hibs going? Because Hibs are a team that I think play good stuff. They're not quite getting the results that they should get, and I would argue that Falkirk are also a team that play some good stuff.
they do. I
Uh,
I
and maybe
think
the results haven't quite. What I would say is, I think there'll be goals, and a
aye.
lot of goals. I could
But
see like a 3-2, but
what I was going to
I'm
say
pointing
was
out Hibs.
I
But
think that the Hibs will be happy to get a game so quickly after the Rangers result, and
yeah,
I
with
think
what?
that might spur them on to like to get the victory.
Yeah, but
I'm backing Hibs to bounce back anyway. I'm backing Hibs to win that.
Falkirk would have 10 days to prepare for this game, so that's also a
I
good
know
thing
that's
for
all.
them.
I know.
Whereas, what if Hibs had Saturday night to
Uh,
Tuesday night? They've had
but
nothing.
would you know rather be playing games though than have all that time to prepare for a game? I'd rather be playing games. I think it
Maybe, but
always.
I don't know. I'm going to say 3-2 Hibs, but I just think my prediction is there'll be goals. What
Two
about
one, 2-1 Hibs.
what about Dundee United Aberdeen?
This is it for Jimmy to lean into. He needs to win this one. I think it'll be close, but I think Aberdeen, I think, will edge it. I'm going to go 3-2 Aberdeen.
I'm going to go 2-0 Dundee United. I just think sometimes
Right.
when you're in a rut, you're in a rut, and
Yeah.
just think Dundee
I'm
United
hope,
have actually been really good at home. Like I've been
I'm hoping
impressed.
Aberdeen win for obvious reasons, though. You know why I want Aberdeen to win.
It doesn't make any difference if we're sitting bottom of
I,
the league.
I know it doesn't it, but just funny to see Rangers down there for a wee
No,
while.
but it's probably funny enough. It's not funny. It should be funny enough seeing them 11th. No, I mean, do you know what I mean? It's terrible no matter what it is, but
I
it
know.
is weird to think though Aberdeen and Rangers are bottom two, but this time last year it was Hearts and Hibs.
I had that's
They were the
mental. It's
bottom two,
crazy. Huh?
and obviously Hearts finished what seventh and Hibs finished third. So
Aye,
a lot can change, is what I
that's
would
right.
say about
Oh, I
that. And
know. I know. It's a long season.
yeah, I'm going to back Dundee United on that one. We'll start with Celtic because obviously chronologically, you play Wednesday, Rangers play Thursday.
Hmm.
Red Star against Celtic. Now I noticed Red Star won 2-1 in the Belgrade derby against Partizan at the weekend.
They've been
Uh,
free score. They've been free scoring of late. They've been scoring a lot of goals of late. Red Star Belgrade. So
conceding two, so that should
aye,
give you a bit of optimism.
I know, I know.
I don't know with this one. I'm going to let you do the prediction on this one first.
Uh, I'm hoping that we win, but I'd be quite happy with a draw, a score draw. Well, even if it was one each or two each or something like that. But I want to win. But as long as we avoid defeat, I think because it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be a really tough game on Wednesday night. But
Mm,
um, either or, I'd be happy with a win. Or if we a hard fought draw, then I'd be quite happy with that as well.
What are you going with then?
Either a 2-1 for Celtic or a 2-2. I don't know.
Okay, I think I'm going to go one each.
One each, right?
But if I was edging any side, I'd probably take the home team just because that stadium's wild.
And we've not
And I
got a great
think,
away record in Europe anyway.
no, but also last season, though, he's played some decent stuff
Aye,
against Bayern Munich and Villa towards the end. I know
aye.
he's lost
But
at Villa,
but
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 after,
last season apart, we've not had a great record away from home.
no, but yeah, I think I'll go one each. But
Right?
I wouldn't say I was massively confident about that one. Rangers Genk, I think it's another one where if you looked at the form team, the league tables, right, you would go Genk are terrible. They're 13th out of 16. You look at Rangers 11th out of 12.
Aye.
But they are two good football teams. Like in terms of when they're on their game, I don't think we've seen it often enough from either team. I would say with Genk because the Genk, I mean, they've got good players like obviously played for News. They've got a few others like Japanese players and stuff,
Mhm.
and really a lot of the Asian ones. Obviously, they said from Korea. There's a boy in midfield, the Japanese. They've got good players, but I think they lose goals almost every game.
Yeah.
Rangers, can they back up a win? That's the big question because they've not done that this season
Yeah.
yet.
That's
Whenever
right.
they've won a game against obviously Panathinaikos and Pilsen, they've not
Is
backed
it
it up.
is it Ibrox, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aye,
So
well, you've got that to your advantage.
yeah, but is that an advantage the way things are?
Well,
Sometimes you'll have better
probably
behind the
no,
goals.
but
Uh,
they always seem to turn up on a Thursday, don't they? They always play better on a Thursday,
yeah.
Rangers. That's the old saying.
Well, we did even when we moved. We had an old firm game on Thursday. We won that 3-0. So no, I think I'm going to go 3-1 Rangers, but I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be a wide mark. Like, do you know what I mean? I think it'll be a tight game, and maybe Rangers get a wee breakaway near the end to make it look bigger. But no, I think Rangers, as you said, they're good on Thursday nights. They know they're good on European nights, and I think it'd be a great start for both sides if they can, make sure they don't lose. You always want to not lose on match day one,
Yeah.
especially for Rangers, because obviously I think being at home, you want to make sure you probably. I mean, ideally, you want to get 4 points at your first two, don't you? If you can get a win
Yeah.
at home and a draw away, you come out of it feeling quite good. Because I know you've got Braga next, and
At Celtic Park. Yeah.
we're in Austria against Sturm Graz. So not a is it Sturm Graz? Yeah, Sturm Graz second. So I think our next two after this are away to Sturm Graz and away to Brandbergen. And I just think it's a great opportunity for Rangers to start well.
We've
Like,
got Braga, and then we must have somebody else at home. Who is it? We'll have to,
uh,
because we'll have two games in a row at home. Then we'll obviously Braga, and is it Sturm Graz? We played them at Celtic Park as well.
yep, it is.
That's who it'll be then.
Yep. Because our match day four is Roma.
Mhm.
Your match day four would be Midtjylland away,
Yeah,
and then it obviously gets
and
pushed up.
We've got Roma in December. So
We've got, our December's decent enough. I think we've got away to Ferencvaros. Obviously, we've got Braga at home and away to Ferencvaros, and I think that's all right. And then our last two are home to Ludogorets and away
I'm
to
trying to
Auckland.
think. The Roma game was at Celtic Park. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, both of us are home to Roma
Aye.
and home to
So
Braga.
I'm pretty sure I'm also right in saying that the game against Roma should be the game the week prior to the League Cup final.
So,
So
no,
we'd be at home.
but well, you won't be in the League Cup final. You don't need to worry about it.
We'll see what happens.
But you can enjoy your game with Roma while I think we'd be in Ferencvaros. We're hungry,
Mhm.
so then we can come back and beat Motherwell at Mum.
Aye,
Either
but
get
I remember
one
no,
win.
but but
We've
I
won
remember
one
you
now,
saying that. I remember you
yeah,
saying that though. That I'm pretty sure you said there was going to be a European game the week leading up to the cup final,
fairly
regardless of
soon.
who's in it. Regardless of
Because
who's in it.
December's wild, remember? Because you've got like 2 European games, a potential cup final, and about 6 league games. And you're
Ah,
just
it's like,
oh,
is it no something stupid like 10 games in 19 days or something like that? It's mental.
because obviously you'll take the derby, which will be the second.
Well, the third, I
The,
think I can't
the
remember if it's the second or the third.
because I know it's at Celtic Park, this one, but it is a weekend, isn't it? The second.
Aye.
So at least it's not anything daft like the Thursday games and all that, and
Hmm.
what they did favour us.
Aye.
But no, I think it should be a good week. Obviously, I think Aberdeen don't start their stuff for another couple of weeks, and we don't
Next
know who.
October that kicks off, I think. Yep.
Yep. And I have to say though, like there's a lot of talk now about Robinson for St Mum would be the favourite for the Aberdeen job.
Oh,
Who else would you think if they did look? Because often with Aberdeen, when they've gone foreign, they usually go back Scottish straight
aye.
after. So remember when like Eb Scoldal and guys like that back in the day, they always
Hmm.
seem to follow up with a Scotsman. And oh, I know Stephen Robinson's Northern Irish, but you know what I mean.
Aye,
Yeah.
he's from the British Isles. Aye, I know what you mean.
And I think looking at it, I mean, the other one that jumps out is well, two of them jump out, but one hasn't. Well, neither of us have been given a chance. But John McGlynn for Falkirk, I always thought does good stuff.
Do you think
Seems
he would be a
quite.
good shout for the Aberdeen job?
I do, and I also think David Martindale wouldn't be a bad shout. But obviously, there's a stigma with him in
And
his past.
nobody seems to touch him. He's been at Livingston for years, and nobody seems to have
But
went near him.
at the same time, though, he's done a good job. I mean, a lot of people thought when they went down that be them who wouldn't see them
I
again.
thought that they've come right
And,
back up.
and they've came back up a good football team. They went down
Aye.
a terrible one. But
And they've really had a plastic pitch, but at least it's a better looking plastic pitch than
but
the one they had.
it shows you a decent coach though, and gets he always gets the best out of. I mean, they've always got the lowest budget, haven't they? And he always finds players for like Timbuktu and all, and he just I don't know. I think he would be a
The
fit.
outer reaches of
Yeah.
the outer
Can't
Mongolia
really
and all
think
that.
of. I mean, Scott Brown, maybe being an ex-Aberdeen player, would he leave there? Is he ready? That's one that
Yeah, I
comes
don't
to
know.
mind. When I look
No,
at the championship, I start thinking, okay, is
I
there any
agree with you,
manager
but
there?
is he ready? Is he ready? You know, you just don't know.
And then I can't really think of if there's much else out of work. Or
Mm.
you always looked at ex-Aberdeen players. I mean, remember they went for one at Stephen Glass. That was a shambles.
Well, Tony
But
Dock, he's already got a job, hasn't he?
I know he would have been the ideal choice, but he
Aye,
went to
because
apprentice.
he was with Aberdeen with Derek McInnes, so he would have been all right. Aye.
But I'm looking around and I'm thinking, Stephen Naismith, would he take another job? Because obviously, I think he did okay at Hearts.
Mm.
Obviously, they had a poor start to last season and you lose your job. That happens. But is he a shout? I mean, would he go there? He's not exactly liked by the Aberdeen faithful. Maybe
No,
from some of his goal celebrations
but
in his
I'm the
Rangers days.
same as you. I can't think of anybody else that's really out of a job that would be a candidate. I can't think of anybody.
No, I mean, as I said, I mean, you just never know who they'll look at. But
Russell
to
Martin.
me, he's out of a job quick enough.
Eh,
I mean, because there's people like I would say like Barry Ferguson. You would go if it was any other team like other than maybe Celtic and Aberdeen. You'd go, okay, would you give him a shout?
he wouldn't manage Aberdeen because of
That's
the
how he
thing
took
with
to
Aberdeen and
Aberdeen. But
Rangers.
let's just say they went for the St Mum manager, right? I wouldn't be surprised if St Mum looked at a Barry Ferguson because that's maybe where his level would be because he needs to
Mm.
come back in and prove himself. Cause, and another one that I'd always have said, but obviously took the Dunfermline job in the summer, is I always kind of felt Neil Lennon
Neil
would end
Lennon.
up at Aberdeen at some point.
Huh? Well, they might go for him. They might have to pay
But
compensation for him, but
mm, yeah, I mean, there's a few managers, as I said. I mean, Valakari's doing a good job at St Johnstone, but I think he'll want to
he'll obviously want
stick
to
that
take them up.
out. Aye. Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? But I mean, he's not out of a job yet, but it's certainly not looking good.
No.
But I think I would think that Robinson would be the absolute standout.
I think so. Or did you say Martindale? But I don't think they'll touch Martindale just because of
Yeah,
the history that he's got and stuff like that. But he is a good manager. He does well.
the same. I've always felt, see, at Rangers, I think he'd be a excellent number two
Hmm.
to maybe someone like a Gerrard who maybe isn't tactically good. He's like he's got an aura, and maybe people will play for him because he's a bit scary.
Aye.
But you could maybe do with somebody who is a bit more relate. I've always felt he looks like
Well,
see
what
for
about?
Scotland, right?
Well, you've got
See the,
Marvin Bartley, who's his assistant. Would
mm,
Marvin Bartley not take the Aberdeen job?
I don't know. I mean, he
Like
tried it
he
didn't he,
managed,
last
he
year,
managed
but
Queen of the South, didn't he?
it didn't really work for him. But
Yeah.
just it doesn't work. It didn't work for Barry Ferguson at Clyde.
Mark
Doesn't
Wilson,
mean that you
Partick
can't.
Thistle.
That's the thing. Sometimes it just doesn't. I mean, do you know what though? He's doing a good job there. I think
Who?
again. I don't think he'd be Mark Wilson. That's what I was
Aye,
thinking. That,
he is.
but I just don't think you can rule anyone out. But at the same time, I think if they overlooked Robinson, I think they'd be stupid because I think he's perfect for what Aberdeen need, and it's to get results and get results quickly.
Yep.
Because what Aberdeen look like right now is a group of players who look like good footballers, but they look like they've got no organisation, and they look like, let's be honest, they're still trying for the manager.
I just don't get it though, because he started off so great last season and it's just fell off a cliff. I mean, it's
Yeah.
mental.
Another one that I would have thought actually would be Sean Maloney, but he came back as your B team coach, whatever,
Aye.
loan manager, whatever the fuck you want to call him. But
Well, I had.
he's got some random ass title that no one knows. But again, John Kennedy always gets linked to SPL jobs. But the only reason I would say these two is that if Brendan Rodgers does go this summer, eventually you are going to go for a manager, right? Who says, "I don't want any of your useless
I
shit
know.
that's already here.
I
I
would.
want,
I would rather a manager brought his
I
own
want,
assistant
I
with him.
want modern people."
Huh?
And so I would say that maybe John Kennedy might need to start looking if he
Because
wants to be a
he's been at Celtic
manager.
for years now.
Yeah, I've got to admit, see back on Martindale, I would love to see him as like a Scotland number two over like Stephen Naismith, because you cannot tell me that you wouldn't run through a wall for somebody who he seems like he's a relatable kind of nice guy. He might not be the greatest football manager, right? But see when you've got Steve Clark, who's a bit of a miserable
Mm-hmm.
shit, right?
Aye.
You wouldn't say Martindale is that. He's very different. He's quite bubbly, and I
No.
think I've got my like. Remember how Walter Smith probably got it perfect when he was manager. He got Ali McCoist for a bit of humour, and he got Tommy Burns for that death stare that if you annoy him. But it was a really good. I mean, because obviously everyone knew that Walter was the gaffer, but you had to show the same respect to Tommy and
Aye.
Ali. But it
They
was a good
worked well
group.
together.
And I just think Scotland, what I would say is that I'm not sure, we've chopped and changed for like Carver and Naismith and Austin McPhee's been kicking about in there with his dodgy hairdo. There's been all sorts of people back there. But
I
I
know.
don't, but I've never felt like you've got like just somebody who you need that wee chippy character. Like another one that I would shout though, just because he was at Rangers last year, was do you think Billy Dodds would get back into management? Because obviously he played for Aberdeen for a long time.
Maybe.
Managed
But I've heard,
at Dundee
I've heard,
United
I've
and
heard, I've
Inverness.
heard Neil McCann wants to get back into management as well. I've heard murmurings about that.
Yeah, I mean, again, Neil
I've actually
McCann's
heard
one of
he
those.
wants the Rangers job. If I'm honest, I've heard he wants the Rangers job. So
Just worried that Neil McCann's maybe not a number one,
Hmm.
whereas I think Billy Dodds maybe is like a coach,
aye,
even though he's a wee fat shite, but he still gets about in the coaching pitch. But I don't know. I think there's a few that I think could get the Aberdeen job, but you're right. We just don't know. We don't know what they're. I mean,
we
what they're.
just need to wait and see what
No,
happens.
yeah, but I think this week's obviously telling because they've got two away games. I think it's Dundee United on Tuesday, then away
Tuesday.
to Motherwell
Hmm.
is it Motherwell again? I think they
I
played
think
Motherwell
so.
the other day, didn't they? But it was at
Uh,
home. Now they
yeah,
go to Fir Park, and I just think if they get, I mean, forget your whole laugh about them getting 4 points to go ahead of Rangers, but if they get 0 points out of those two games, they really
Oh,
could start to worry that they could actually start to get cut adrift
yep.
because teams like Falkirk, Livingston, Dundee have picked up the odd result,
hmm
and you don't
They need
want
to
to
start
find
winning
yourself.
games. They need to start
You
winning
don't want to
games.
find yourself with 8, 9 points cut adrift.
hmm
Sorry, Rangers and the only do you know the only thing that saved him, I think, has been the fact that Rangers, Kilmarnock, Motherwell have drawn so many games.
Aye.
See if a few of them had turned them into wins, even if they'd lost games. I think you'd find that Aberdeen would have right now been 4 or 5 adrift.
Yeah.
The
Of
pressure
course.
would have been on them more, whereas they're always within touching distance of the draw specialists
hmm
in the league because it has been a draw heavy start, as
Aye.
we've said.
Oh, far too many draws.
But what I would say though is that I mean Aberdeen have only picked up one of them and they've lost everything else. So, but I think we'll obviously leave it there and we'll get chatting again on Friday where we
hmm
can discuss the 2 Europa League games, the 2 league games that happened, and then obviously preview the weekend's fixtures. To my knowledge, I think there's ones that jump out at me are
We've got a
Motherwell
Saturday game at
Aberdeen,
3 o'clock. My God.
like Motherwell Aberdeen, Celtic Hibs, Livingston Rangers. Um, I try to think if I can remember the other three, but there's some good games there.
Yep,
Um,
there is. Aye.
Obviously Rangers, I think they're midday on a Sunday. Never fun when you need to go to the El Plastico.
As I say,
Um,
we're 3 o'clock on a Saturday for like the one and only time, probably till the end of the year.
well, we were 3 o'clock last Saturday, but that didn't do us any good. So,
Aye.
so I don't want to see any more 3 o'clocks. But no, I do in general. But it's just if we keep losing every time. But no, I think it should be another interesting week, and it'll be good to get back to week form. And it'll be interesting to see if Rangers. I mean, forget about the European game, but if Rangers and Motherwell can start to turn some of these draws into wins. Kilmarnock
We'll
too.
see.
Because
We'll
let's be honest,
see.
Kilmarnock did draw again. I
Uh-huh.
know they lost some penalties, but it's another fucking draw.
Another draw. Yeah,
I
another
mean,
draw.
they were unlucky not to get one against Hughes enough. I mean, they literally could have drawn every single game this season.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, that's incredible. But no, we've got plenty to look forward to, and we'll obviously we'll see what another week of Scottish football madness brings.
Aye, let's see. Right, we'll
Right,
bring it on.
right. Speak to you later.
Right, cheers, mate.
Right, bye.
Yep. Bye.